Hey guys, it's Jason from the Dental Equipment Repair Channel. Today I'm actually doing a little bit of a side quest. I am working on a dental CE course. I'm really excited to be in the stages of working on this project. And today I find myself in the shop. I'm building something to demonstrate a physics principle called Pascal's Law. Pascal's law states that pressure applied to a confined space is pushes out equally and undiminished in all directions. And this is a foundational principle for dental equipment repair. And even though this training is that I'm doing for the CE is geared at dentists, it's something that I find myself wanting to make a means of showing this to kind of in real life with the little test setup. And what I'm doing here is I've kind of got a bunch of stuff, and as I was kind of putting together like a little test fixture here to demonstrate this principle, I was using some tools to take some stuff apart. And what I'd like to do is to maybe just kind of walk you through a couple little principles that I use to get things apart. I don't know how many of you are already working on a lot of equipment, but there's a couple things that I was doing and I thought, maybe we'll just go ahead and talk a little bit about the mechanics of working with piping, because I know, like, if you don't have a lot of experience, there's definitely hard ways to go about it, and there's easier ways. And so maybe this could be something that would just give you some basic foundational principles, especially if you're earlier on in your journey. So let's go ahead and hop into it, and I'll just show you a couple of things I was doing, and maybe this will be of value to you. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to talk about is getting some things apart. Now, I've got a series of, I've got some different items here that are from some old air compressors, and what I was doing was trying to pull out a couple pieces that I could use for some other types of things. Now, if you're working with a truck and you need to use wrenches, my favorite wrench for working on this kind of stuff is a big crescent wrench. Now, crescent wrenches are nice because you can adjust them to different sizes, and they're very handy. You don't need to get the most expensive ones, just getting what you can, whatever you get your hands on. Now, using a crescent wrench, there's a specific way to do it. And what you're going to do is you're always going to turn towards the movable jaw. So if you have two crescent wrenches, what you're going to do is, if you're using them, you're going to always be turning them together. And especially if you're trying to tighten or even loosen something, you want to try to move them in a direction where your hands are together and where you can kind of begin to have force pulling together. It's a very bad idea to push on any wrench because you can bust your knuckles. And so for this particular scenario, I was wanting to try to get some of these pieces off for the test jig that I was doing. Now, in order to do this, I would go ahead and put one crescent wrench right here, and then another crescent wrench over here, and I would try to get them within 90 degrees of one another so that I can, in turn, basically muscle them together. And this would be the way that I would try to accomplish this. Now, one thing right away is that these are big half-inch fittings, and if I'm, use my force, I could actually, I can actually get that one. So this is a one way to do it, where you're using basically just the wrenches to do that. Now, that is obviously going to work for a lot of scenarios. Now, if you're in a shop environment or you have the ability, there's a second thing that we can do. Now, if I want to go ahead and get the rest of these fittings off, what we've got here is I've got a vise. And this vise is a really handy tool because what you can do is you can utilize the vise to grab onto part of the work that you're working on, and then you only need one wrench because you can utilize the wrench against whatever the vise is holding on to. So in this scenario, we're going to go ahead and just clamp onto this 1/2 inch fitting here. We're going to grab right here. We're going to push down on the handle, and we're not going to crush it because you could definitely crush it. And then what I'm going to do is just with my hand, I'm going to try to turn this this way to see if it'll come off. And I'm going to try not to break this part. I'm just going to try to see if I can apply force with one hand here. And yep, I'm actually able to get it a little bit. So this is just going to go off of there. And I didn't even need a tool to get that off, okay? And so that is kind of the magic of the vise. You know, when you have the ability to utilize a vise like this, it makes life a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again, and I'll go ahead and get that kind of in there like so. And again, I'm not going to try to crush it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to push, and that's going to unscrew that. Now, this is maybe where I can show you some other cool stuff. Now this is pretty neat because this is a Parker coalescing filter, and I'm pretty sure this is a pretty pricey guy here, so I'm going to save that one for later. Now in here there's a nipple. Okay, that's what that's called, is a nipple, and we need to get that out of there. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to just grab onto the outside of it, because what we'll do is we'll put tool marks on that nipple. So if we want to get that off, there's actually a special tool that I can go get quick, and then I'll be right back. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and try and get this nipple out without totally destroying it. And the tool that we're going to utilize is, it's this little funny wrench here. The way that it works is this whole thing goes into the end of the nipple. And what you want to try to do is get everything like kind of aligned in where it is, you know, in the working thread area. And then what happens is when you put this in, there's a narrow and a fat way that you can put it in. What's going to happen is we're going to stick it in there all the way, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it counterclockwise. And as I turn it, either direction you turn it, you'll encounter resistance. And what's happening is that little cam on the inside is actually turning against it's like creating pressure on the inside. So what we're going to do is and it's actually this particular tool is actually marked right here, 1/2 of an inch. It says 1/2. And so what we're going to do, again, one-handed, is we're going to put this wrench on here, and then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to apply loosening pressure to it using our vise. And then if you see, the whole thing is now turning. Okay. And so this wrench is really nice because it allows for you to get out those tricky nipples without having to actually destroy the fittings on the outside. All right, and so there you go. So that is that's there. Now what I probably will do is, just because I don't need to like scar it up, all I'm trying to do is get it rotating the other direction. I'm just gonna lightly grab it, and just with my hand, I just ever so gently moved it, and now it came out. This tool is really great because if you have a lot of equipment that you have access to, you can take these things apart and then end up with some really great used parts that will help you save a little bit of money, because all these fittings add up. So these are the items. Now maybe what we'll do is we'll just work through this guy here on the vise. Things we're looking at here, this is a moisture indicator that tells you if the dental air compressor air is wet or dry. It should be blue. Right here we have another, another brass fitting. We have another ball valve, and another coalescing air filter. And then this thing right here is a safety valve. And then you can tell here somebody tried to get that off with a tool and mangled it up. Let's see here. There we go. So that's how. And these threads are, these are going to be 1/4 inch pipe threads. Okay, and we'll, again, you always want to make sure that you move the wrench towards the movable jaw. Okay. And then on this one, we'll see. Cool. Okay. There you go. What can happen if you try to put that in the vise is that you can smash that fitting, and that will create problems. All right, so there we go. And there you go. Like if you guys, if you don't have any big wrenches, they can come in really handy for things like this. So there's another valve. All right, and we have this other little block here. We'll do just a similar maneuver. Okay, there we go. Oh, nice and tight. Spin that off. All right. If you were in a bind, I think having stuff like this is kind of handy. Whenever I respond to repairs, I'll bring a whole box full of stuff, or like I'll bring an entire part of a compressor vacuum in order to have like every possible thing that I could need. So this is kind of a good strategy for a couple ways. Right now what I'm trying to do is just show how handy the vise can be in helping you to disassemble stuff. Let's take off some of these other things, and then maybe we'll try some other way to get that off. Okay. All right. And then that's a 1/8 pipe thread. So this particular guy hooks up to a hose, and when you open it, it actually takes if there's any water in the bottom of the tank for an air star, it'll come out. All right, the last thing that we have right here is this guy. Now it's brass and aluminum, so it's dissimilar metal. But if we really want to get that out of there, I'll go ahead and show you another little technique that you have to be careful for. And we'll just make that our last little bit here of how to get that out. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a torch. As we heat up this metal right here, it's going to expand, and then that should make it to where this one can come out. I can feel, based on how much pressure I was putting on that I was on the verge of breaking this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to heat that up right here, and that's going to hopefully make this a little bit wider, because metal expands when it gets hot, and then maybe that'll allow for our tool to get off this brass fitting. So let's try that. right, there we go. Boom. All right, so that was acting like it was not going to want to come, and a little bit of heat, and that did the job. All right. Sometimes it's a good idea to just pull out the wrenches to try to take a few things apart. This is really great practice. If you're newer to dental equipment repair, I would highly advise that you take equipment that you're getting rid of and you just spend a little bit of time just breaking it apart into smaller pieces. Also, if you're ever going to use something to repair something else, it's a really great idea to start your taking something apart that you're going to use, like whatever the donor is, because that gives you a chance to get familiar with the tools, to understand if any of the forces, like if anything breaks, it's best to break the thing that you're trying to use as parts instead of the other way around where you break the thing that you're trying to fix. But for right now, I think just spending a little bit of time here going over a little bit of just a little bit of basics is a good way to spend the afternoon with you. And if you have any questions, please write them below. But until the next time, you have a great day and take care. Thank you.